Good morning. Thank you for joining this presentation. In visual cultural education, we face a persistent challenge. Students come with various analytical backgrounds. Some have advanced formal analysis skills, while others, equally perceptive, struggle to articulate their visual insights using academic frameworks. Today, I'll present research that began as an investigation into AI-assisted visual analysis, but evolved into something more fundamental, a study that challenges core assumptions about learning progression and educational assessment in a digital age. My findings show that AI integration not only enhances existing pedagogical approaches, but also reveals their limitations, suggesting fundamentally different educational possibilities. Over the next 20 minutes, I will share discoveries that could reshape our understanding of visual cultural education, especially regarding visual analysis. This presentation examines the pedagogical challenges that motivated my research, presents the methodology and findings, and explores a significant paradox that emerged from my data, one that questions traditional assumptions about sequential learning and assessment. I will discuss the implications for pedagogical practice, address ethical considerations, and conclude with recommendations. Throughout, I will demonstrate how collaboration with AI clarifies rather than threatens uniquely human analytical capabilities. Traditional visual cultural pedagogy assumes a sequential approach to knowledge building. Students must master fundamental concepts before progressing to advanced theoretical frameworks. This approach creates a significant disparities between students who have developed analytical vocabularies and those encountering formal analysis for the first time. In my courses, students come from diverse disciplinary backgrounds. Some possess sophisticated frameworks from prior art history or media studies coursework, while others bring fresh perspectives but lack the formal analytical language expected in academic visual cultural discourse. I hypothesized that AI-assisted analysis could bridge this gap, providing equitable access to analytical frameworks and specialized terminology. However, my findings revealed something more transformative. AI fundamentally changed how students approach visual analysis, suggesting that traditional prerequisite structures might be artifacts of instructional methodology rather than necessities for learning. My central research question was, how does AI-assisted visual analysis enhance students' interpretation of images? This investigation focused on understanding the specific mechanisms through which AI tools influence analytical processes in visual cultural education. Rather than simply determining whether AI helps, preliminary evidence suggested it does. I sought to examine how it transforms students' engagements with visual materials and what this transformation reveals about learning in AI-integrated environments. Current scholarship positions AI as a collaborative partner rather than a passive tool. Park characterized AI as a creative collaborator that catalyzes human development, while Wan et al. Demonstrate enhanced analytical processes through improved data processing and user intention recognition. Mazzone and Algamo advocate for genuine human-AI creative partnerships, where AI manages the mechanical aspects of analysis, enabling deeper human engagements with critical interpretation. Empirical studies provide nuanced insights. Carbino and Hassan found that AI effectively enhanced formal analysis skills, with success correlating to precision in descriptive language. Perella and Moroshi offer a provocative perspective, positioning AI's analytical limitations as a productive sites for understanding the constructed nature of visual interpretation, what they term institutional critique 2.0. These findings suggest that existing frameworks, including the TPAC model, may be inadequate for AI transformative impact on creative and analytical tasks. This mixed method study involved 79 undergraduate students over 2 semesters using a three-phase sequential analysis protocol designed to capture both quantitative learning outcomes and qualitative experiential data. Phase 1 requires students to analyze personally meaningful images using traditional methods, for example, formal, contextual, and semiotic analysis. Phase 2 introduced AI assistance, with students using selected tools to explore how their images function as sources of pleasure and sites of ideological contestation. Phase 3 required the integration of AI-generated insights with personal interpretations, resulting in synthesized analyses. Students completed end-of-course surveys that combined Likert scale assessments across 5 dimensions: technical analysis, interpreted diversity, vocabulary development, personal connection, and cultural understanding, with open-ended responses regarding their AI collaboration experience. This approach captured quantitative measures of perceived learning outcomes alongside rich qualitative data on subjective experiences of AI integrative analytical practice. Participants represented a typical undergraduate diversity at a university: 60% female and 40% male, with various cultural backgrounds. They were all enrolled in the Visual Culture course, a sophomore level course that emphasized systematic visual analysis. Importantly, participants reported diverse prior knowledge levels. 30.4% indicated poor or very poor understanding. 29.1% reported average familiarity, and 40.5% identified as having good or excellent prior knowledge. This distribution provided crucial variables for examining AI's democratizing potential across different preparation levels. Quantitative results revealed complex patterns. Usability scored highest, mean 4.3 out of 5, standard deviation 0.77, with 84.8% rating AI tools as easy or very easy to use, suggesting minimum technical barriers. Engagements and motivation received notably positive ratings, means 3.8 and 3.82 respectively, with 67.1% finding AI-assisted assignments more engaging than traditional approaches. However, perceived educational value, mean 3.38, and improvements in understanding, mean 3.28, fell within moderate ranges, while critical thinking enhancements ranked lower, mean 3.1. A striking finding emerged. Despite moderate improvement scores, 86.1% recommended continued AI use. This disconnect between modest perceived improvements and overwhelming endorsement became central to understanding AI's actual impacts on visual cultural education. The data revealed a significant paradox. Moderate self-reported improvement coupled with enthusiastic recommendations for continuous use. This contradiction challenges traditional assumptions in educational assessments. Qualitative analysis illuminated this paradox. Students valued AI not for dramatic skill enhancements, but for transforming their analytical experience. Representative responses include AI helped me understand the connection between the real world and the picture, and it changed my perspective on AI entirely. It managed to explain what I have already associated with it. The pattern was consistent. Students appreciate gaining alternative perspectives and identifying overlooked details rather than fundamental analytical skill changes. They experienced a qualitative shift in analytical engagements, learning differently rather than simply learning more. This suggests that traditional learning methods might be inadequate for assessing AI-integrated educational experiences. The most significant finding emerged from correlation analysis. The relationship between prior knowledge and improvements with AI assistance was essentially zero. This finding challenges fundamental educational assumptions. Traditional models predict that prior knowledge strongly correlates with future learning success, forming the basis for prerequisite structures and sequential curricula. My data suggests these assumptions may reflect instructional limitations rather than learning necessities. Students with prior initial preparation achieve meaningful improvements at rates equivalent to those with strong foundations. Remarkably, 88% of students with poor prior knowledge succeed with AI assistance. Engaging theoretical frameworks typically reserved for advanced coursework. These findings have profound implications for educational equity and institutional structures. If prior knowledge doesn't predict improvements with AI assistance, traditional prerequisites and course sequence require fundamental reconsideration. Qualitative analysis revealed consistent themes regarding AI-human collaboration. 26% of students specifically mentioned AI's provision of alternative perspectives they have overlooked. For example, the AI also brought new perspectives and expanded upon them. This added detail to my original analysis that I initially overlooked. However, 14.6% identify significant limitations in AI's emotional analysis capabilities. For example, one student mentioned, AI cannot truly analyze the emotional impacts the image had on me without being prompted. These limitations proved instructive rather than disappointing. Students developed a nuanced understanding of both AI capabilities and human interpretive uniqueness. One participant noted, "It changed my perspective on AI entirely. I initially underestimated his ability to notice what I have observed already, until it proved me wrong." Students recognized the complementary rather than competitive relationship between AI and human interpretation. This research mapped distinct boundaries between computational and human intelligence in visual interpretation, revealing complementary rather than competing capabilities. AI exhibits superiority in analytical mechanics, pattern recognition, formal analysis, technical vocabulary, historical contextualization, and theoretical framework application. It offers instant access to compositional techniques. historical context, and semiotic frameworks with consistency and breadth that exceed most human analysts. Human capabilities focus on experiential engagements, emotional resonance, personal connection, intuitive cultural understanding, and lived meaning-making. These represent fundamentally different modes of visual engagements. Where AI analyzes systematically, humans experience subjectively. Optimal visual analysis arises from strategic combinations of these distinct strengths, as one student observed. While art revolves around feelings, it is impossible to ask a robot to give feedback about something it has no experience knowing of. These findings necessitate fundamental pedagogical restructuring. Traditional models that position instructors as primary sources of knowledge become obsolete in AI-integrated environments. Educators must reconceptualize their roles as facilitators of human-AI collaboration. New approaches should focus on developing metacognitive skills for navigating between computational and experiential analysis. Students need explicit instruction on when to employ AI's systematic capabilities versus when to trust human intuitive responses. Assessments requires a complete reconceptualization. Testing for memorization of analytical techniques becomes meaningless when AI provides instant access to frameworks. Instead, evaluation should focus on synthesis capabilities, critical evaluation of AI interpretations, and articulations of uniquely human perspectives, capabilities that remain exclusively human. AI's democratizing potential raises critical questions about educational equity and institutional fairness. If AI provides universal access to sophisticated analytical frameworks, regardless of background, traditional academic achievement markers become problematic. Immediate concerns include equitable AI access and fair assessments, especially when computational assistants fundamentally alter analytical possibilities. These challenges require institutional responses that extend beyond mere policy adjustments to a fundamental reimagination of educational purposes. Curricula must assume universal AI access, emphasizing uniquely human capabilities, emotional intelligence, creative synthesis, cultural navigation, and ethical reasoning. The assessment question shifts from what do you know to what can you create with AI-enhanced access. AI's most significant contribution to visual analysis may be clarifying what makes human interpretation irreplaceable. By efficiently managing analytical mechanics, technique identification, theoretical referencing, and vocabulary provision, AI creates space for humans to focus on exclusively human, such as emotional engagements, personal connection, and experiential meaning-making. This division enhances, not diminishes, human capacity. Students consistently report feeling more distinctly human when collaborating with AI, understanding their unique value precisely because computational limitations highlight irreplaceable human capabilities. The capacity for emotional responses to visual material, personal experiential connections, and intuitive cultural understanding through lived reality remains exclusively human domains. Educators should embrace AI as a collaborative partners, focusing instruction on uniquely human capabilities. Curricula should assume universal AI access, highlighting emotional intelligence, cultural navigation, and personal meaning-making. Assignments must explicitly require students to challenge and expand AI interpretations. Institutions must ensure equitable AI access. As an educational imperative, faculty development should extend beyond technical training to include pedagogical transformation. New assessment frameworks must prioritize human insights over mechanical analysis. Most critically, institutions should recognize participation in fundamental educational transformation rather than mere technology adoption. This requires institutional courage and imagination to develop genuinely new pedagogical approaches. These studies opens multiple research pathways. Longitudinal studies tracking AI's long-term impact on visual literacy developments are essential. Comparative analyses of different AI platforms could reveal how system design influences learning outcomes. Critical questions remain regarding cultural biases in AI systems and their effects on visual analysis across various contexts. Research on the emotional and psychological impacts of AI collaboration on student identity and confidence in human capabilities is urgently needed. Most importantly, we must investigate how students maintain secure identities as irreplaceable collaborators rather than replaceable competitors in AI integrated educational environments. My findings suggest we are at a transformative moment in visual cultural education. AI doesn't simply enhance existing pedagogical approaches. It reveals their limitations and points toward radically different possibilities. The technology democratizes access to sophisticated analytical tools while simultaneously clarifying the uniquely human capacities that remain irreplaceable. As educators and institutions, we must recognize that marginal adaptation to existing models will not suffice. The AI revolution in education demands that we reimagine fundamental assumptions about learning, teaching, and human capability. My research suggests this reimagining, while challenging, opens unprecedented opportunities for more equitable and meaningful visual cultural education. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you.